So this is the ideal parent protocol exercise. What you're going to be doing is visualizing yourself in an ideal parenting situation. These are not going to be parents that you grew up with. What we're trying to do is we're trying to create an experience that will help to generate sensations that are consistent with secure attachment. So this exercise is going to go through some imagery work where you're going to imagine ideal parents interacting with you in ways to make you feel certain ways that I'll be describing throughout the exercise. So the goal of the exercise, and this exercise is done more than once, but the goal of the exercise is to help you to rebalance this internal working map that you have of attachment that is based on an insecure and kind of chaotic or disorganized attachment experience. We get a default setting that tends to be more towards negative and feeling distrustful and being kind of hyper vigilant as a result of growing up in that kind of a stressful environment. And then when we grow up in a securely attached environment, that default mode gets set to be more positive, and so we are trusting of the sensations that happen inside of us. We're able to trust the intentions of other people until they show us otherwise. We're able to experience stress but not be overstimulated by it. We know that, you know, the discomfort will pass. It's kind of like having the experience of an ice cream headache where, by now it's annoying, but it passes. But when you have a nervous system that's been wired up through chaotic or disorganized attachment experiences, that kind of stress is experienced as being overwhelming. So with repetition, this exercise helps to kind of rewire your expectations of what a secure relationship feels like, and helps you to trust that. So this is a closed eye exercise. So um, you're gonna get yourself comfortable in your chair and start to bring your attention to your breath, and just let yourself be aware of the movement of air in and out of your body. And just be aware of yourself becoming more grounded in your chair, feeling your body weight settling into the cushion. And as you settle into yourself, I'd like you to begin by imagining yourself as a young child. Only in this scene, I'd like you to imagine that you grew up in a family different from your family of origin, and with a set of parents ideally suited to you and your nature, whatever that looks like to you. So you're going to bring to mind a scene of these ideal parents being with you in a way that would lead you to feel secure in the attachment relationship. And you can rework the images as we go through the exercise and reshape the scene in any way until it feels just right. So in this scene, just continue to rework it until you can feel a sense of security in the attachment relationship, feeling like, wow, this is where I belong. This feels so comfortable. I couldn't imagine being anywhere else. And just let yourself see what that scene looks like, noticing the particular ways that these ideal parents are being with you that leads you to feel secure in that relationship. So just spend another moment or so with that image. And then now you can let that scene fade, and you're going to bring to mind a second scene with these ideal parents, and you're going to imagine them being with you in a way that makes you feel completely safe and protected. So this is you as a small child being around these parents, these ideal parents. They know how to give you a safe haven, and really just let your imagination kind of take over. And again, just kind of rework it. And if you find that you feel reluctance, you can imagine that these parents understand that reluctance and that they give you space to kind of check it out and to really feel safe. And as you're doing so, you can imagine what it is exactly that these parents would be doing that would be helping you to feel safe and protected as a young child, as a adolescent, as a teenager. And see if you can imagine the details of the scene in which they're able to be with you in a way that helps you to feel safe and protected. And just give yourself a moment to picture them being with you in this way that feels safe and protected. And as you do that, notice the effect that imagery has on the state of your mind and on your body. And now you can let that scene fade, and you can imagine yourself being with a set of these ideal parents where they're being very carefully attuned to you. These parents are able to be completely present, and you know that they're being present with you and that they're really interested in everything that you're doing. These ideal parents are able to track all of the developmental changes that you go through as a young child. They're very attuned and interested in all the changes that you're going through as you're growing in their family. And they're aware of what's most important to you moment by moment as your interests change, as you get excited about things. And as you continue to imagine, you can do so in a way in which you're imagining their attunement is not only focused on your behavior, but they're also attuned to your internal state. They're looking and they're watching and they're, yeah, exactly. They're wondering out loud about what you feel and what motivates your behavior. Yeah, they're interested in what you think and how you put your world together. They're interested in things about yourself that might be confusing to you or that might be exciting to you. And you know that you can always speak openly about what you're experiencing, and in fact they'll prompt you, they'll encourage you, they'll check in. And again, they'll give you space if you are not quite ready to share with them things about yourself. But you know that you can at any time. And these parents can tell how you're feeling just by your external actions, your facial expressions, the way you're just sitting there. And they'll say something if they see something. And you feel really seen by them. And so notice the effect that has on your mind and in your body right now. And then as we continue, you can let that scene fade. And you can imagine a time as a young child when you were emotionally upset about something, but only this time you're in that family that's different from your family of origin, and again, with these ideal parents. And these ideal parents are able to see right away how upset you are, and imagine that they respond to you in just the right way, in just the way that you need most. You can notice how they approach you and the physical closeness that they offer you, and the space that they recognize to give you if that's what you need. They give you reassurance if you tell them you're not ready or if you seem distrustful. So there's never any pressure for you to reach out to them when you're not ready. And yet they're also able to recognize when you need encouragement and can offer that as well. And so notice how they approach you to offer you comfort for that emotional hurt. Notice how they're comforting you physically, the verbal reassurance, and just let yourself imagine them comforting you in all the right ways. And then notice the effect that has on your mind and in your body right now. And then you can let that scene fade, and you can imagine another scene with these ideal parents and you as a young child. And imagine them being with you in a way where they're absolutely open and expressive about their delight in everything that you do. And these parents are not subtle. They're consistently open and expressive about their joy in your being. Their joy is expressed in the things that you're discovering, and you know that you are a deep source of joy for them. And everything that you do in life brings them great pleasure, and you can feel that when you're around them. And see if you can notice that feeling in your body right now, how it would feel to have that kind of openness and encouragement and expression, and really know that you are a source of joy and pride and a great source of pleasure for them. They're excited to have you in their family, and you can really feel that. Yeah, exactly. They see you as an individual. They see you as a person with great potential and enthusiasm. They don't have an agenda for you. They're not threatened by you. They're excited by your enthusiasm and the things that you're interested in. And so you can imagine another scene with these ideal parents where you're exploring and you're discovering something new, and you really feel like you have their absolute support. These parents are openly supportive and they encourage you to explore and to discover in your own ways. These ideal parents want you to bring out the best and strongest version of yourself. So imagine a scene where you're exploring and discovering something new with their complete and absolute support for bringing out the best and strongest version of yourself that you can be. And then notice the effect that has on your mind and in your body and on your esteem. And then take a moment to imagine what it might have been like, and what your sense of self might have turned out to be like had you grown up getting that kind of support at every step in your development. And then let that fade. And finally, let yourself become aware of something that you needed as a child growing up that repeatedly, over and over again, you never quite got. And see if you can bring that feeling to mind. And it's a very familiar feeling to you, this thing that you needed over and over, but you never quite got. And there was a familiar way that you came to feel about that. And let yourself bring that feeling to mind right now and bring it into your body so you can really feel it now. And then imagine these ideal parents stepping into the scene, and they see right away what you're feeling, and they respond to you in just the way you most need, just the right way to help you begin this process of healing. And then you can let that scene fade and notice the effect that has on your mind and in your body. And when you're ready,